Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's do this, guys. How you doing, my friend Alex? Doing well?
I'm good, man. I'm going to stay
Yeah.
caffeinated. I got my Christmas mug because I tell you
That's
what,
right.
I sucked out a cup of coffee before we started. That's how much I needed right now. But I
Wow.
am feeling great.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I don't know what that's like anymore, man. I mean, I know what it's like, but yeah,
No, what's like?
So I quit drinking coffee, I guess either at the beginning of the year, maybe it was last year. I guess it was last year I quit drinking coffee. I used to drink 6 cups a day. So yeah, it was crazy. So
A day.
pretty much, I would say so. Yeah, I gotta make a pot, and I would fill up to about 6 cups, and a lot of times that would be done. Yeah. So
I think we did
I would
talk
drink
about
that.
this.
We might have. Yeah. I used to drink that, and then I would have my either like heavy cream that I was doing at that time because I was doing like the keto thing, and then I was doing like the mixing up the coconut oil and different stuff and different powders and things, and
What the
just
heck is
throw it
what
all
is
into my
keto?
coffee. Huh?
What is keto? My
That was
brother-in-law does it. My brother-in-law's been doing it for like, I
It's
don't
a
know,
high fat,
9
low
years.
carb diet, right?
Wait,
So
high fat.
yeah, high fat, low carb.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's a recipe for disaster.
No, I mean, honestly, for me, I lost a lot doing it, and I felt
How do
pretty
you
good.
lose fat if you eat fat? I don't get it.
Well, it's because you're using your fat. Yeah, bulletproof coffee. That's right. The fat isn't. You're using that as your fuel. So you're taking that in, and that's what you're using to burn instead of the carbs. So because a lot of times the carbs store fat and other things. So just like any diet or whatever, there's good and bads with it.
What a way to
I
start the
kind of
show.
got rid of I got rid of doing a lot of that though this past year. So I stay away from almost any kind of meat now. So I do mostly fish now. So it's a lot different. Just always trying things that's going to help, looking into different stuff. I go to a natural health doctor and everything like that to make sure that I'm just, as healthy as possible. So,
Damn.
so like last week I had a cup of coffee for like my one time a month or whatever that I would just have it, or every now and then
Once a month?
yeah, something like that. And so,
Wow.
I was like all jittery, man. It was crazy.
Well, I suppose. But I tell you what, if you're gonna have some coffee, make sure you have some coffee November 20th to
Yes.
keep yourself awake for the next virtual fight tour, because we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. Virtual Fight Tour 11. As little as it's 11, right?
Yes, it is.
Virtual Fight Tour 11.
Yep, November 20th.
November 20th. We're gonna have the co-main events are gonna be Brian Crum versus Jerry Fast Feet Fontenez.
Yes, yeah. If you guys missed our show last week, they were both on and talking about their fight. So it got everybody pumped up. We enjoyed that. And then the main is James Poor
James Diamond Talk Poor versus Rob Lavoie.
That's right. So that's going to be a great fight. Also, there's several different team matchups, junior team matchups between Next Level, the Dojo Wars, Next Level and Bins. So lots of great fighting fighters.
Both of those schools have been like MVP like schools for the Virtual Fight Tour. So this is gonna be great. You know what I mean?
It is. Again, it's hard to, like I'm saying, just on their record alone and what they've proved in Virtual Fight Tour, it's hard to pick anyone but Ben's a lot of times, But you also tell them, Next Level is one of the best teams there is, and school teams too. So pretty exciting.
Well, I've been on the record saying that I think Jesse Ray is the best. He's the best fighting coach that there is in the country. Yeah. I think that. Right. His record speaks for it. Right.
Yeah, and I think Troy Benz is pushing himself up there to that.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So Troy, but that's the thing is it's culture. Also, there's so many good guys, but it's good that we're getting lots of different candidates there. For so long it was like Mike Conroy and like
Richard Plowden.
Right. It was pretty much those two who were like, They were the top.
Yeah. There were some other
Like
ones,
ever.
but
now there's a lot of good guys, a lot, and that those two are still very, very good.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think Jesse Ray is kind of already, he just put himself there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good guys, like you mentioned.
I call it nutrition. Okay. It's nutrition, not a diet.
Oh yeah, I can't diet. I don't know how to do that stuff.
It's not really. I wouldn't really call it diet. I would just say just eat better.
I don't really know what a diet is. Is that something you wear? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So
what
I was thinking about?
Fight. Hold on, Alex. There's one more fight on there. There's the junior fight. That's the guy from Oscar Garcia.
Yeah.
From Velocity versus I don't have his name. Travis.
I've seen him fight.
Yeah,
I've seen these guys
from,
fight.
Next Level.
Yeah, they're talented. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great fight. So I'm excited, guys. Get your tickets now. Go to myeventx.com and make it happen. Yeah, Velocity. All right, got it.
This is proudly representing Velocity now. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. So excited to see that. Hope that Murphy makes the trip up there and is able to coach him. That'd be great to see.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
I was thinking about this the other day, man, because I was actually, a little bit of me was thinking about it from the virtual fight tour perspective. Actually, some of these national tournaments from really the kind of the perspective of kind of what you have to do when you go. And I'm sometimes a very particular person. Like, all right, like I think we mentioned this like probably like a year and a half ago. Like when I stay, I don't like hotel rooms. Like I don't like the hotel room. I like the hotel. I don't want to be in the room, right? So I'm like, it just feel like it's a big box of germs, right? So it's whatever. Yeah. But I just started thinking, like, you got routines. Like when you travel, when you go to compete, when you go to a tournament, everybody's got their own little routines. Yeah,
got their own routines. Yeah.
Like I eat this. Like there was some guys were telling me, like, oh man, I gain so much weight every tournament I go to. Yeah. I lose like 6 pounds like every tournament.
Same. There's nowhere to eat.
Nowhere to eat. So I just don't. Right. Yeah. Right. So I started thinking about it.
As soon as you want to go eat, that's when they finally call your division, so or something else, or a coach, or you got a coach or something. Or they draw in a judge.
Let's see. Do you typically fly out like on a Friday, or do you a lot of times do you get there early and go Thursday?
So a lot of times, yeah, I would always try to go Thursday. That way, especially now the way tournaments are starting earlier.
I suppose so. That's a great point.
Yeah. And so for me, when I was doing a lot of tournaments that were on the West Coast, I'd always go out on Thursday so I could at least have some time to kind of not just go right over there and compete and just be all messed up on sleeping and everything. And just kind of figure that out. So because for a couple of years, I did a lot of tournaments out West. And so that was really different, so I had to go Thursday. I think maybe one time I went like a Friday morning, and that was the worst. I was like, I'm never doing this again. So yeah, I mean, I think
you're going east to west,
right?
Those going west to east, like how do they even make it on time?
All right, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're leaving like San Francisco and going to Orlando, let's say the U.S. Open, like you could never do it same day.
No.
There's no way, right? Because once you land, there's still hours before you could even end up in that convention center.
Right.
So, right. But for me, I'm so particular when it comes to like all this stuff. Like I don't really eat at all, right? Before I go, right? I'm gonna have like a little like I just don't really feel like it. So I'm gonna have like some toast or something like that, and that's kind of about it. But even
before you get on the plane, is that what you're talking about? Or you talking about before
like that day? Like I don't really bother with it, right?
Okay.
But no, unless you're saying it's kind of like the thing that you were talking about when it's like, all right, I'm gonna go there a day early.
Yeah.
Now it's like, all right, now I'm actually gonna have real food.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Depends on
Well,
where you're
yeah, I
sitting.
mean, I think, if I'm going to I've done several where it was that day of, like, yeah, I mean, like I would just kind of go like that Friday or whatever, and I leave early in the morning, and then I get there, and then I had the rest of the day, to do whatever. And yeah, it was like that. I'd be like, all right, I'll just have a little something, and then when I get off the plane, I'll go to lunch there. That's usually what I'll do. Um, but I mean, it just depends, man, on where you're at too, because certain places you want to eat the food, certain places you don't. So,
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Like, what places you don't want to eat the food?
I mean, I'm just saying there's certain areas that you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're going to eat.
Like where?
All right. So I've been to some really small areas. All right. I've been to like a place called Hobbs, New Mexico. All right. Where there was like the smallest airport ever. And it was just one little door and you kind of went through it and then they chucked your bags out. And,
No way.
so I didn't know what I was getting to. Like I mean, it ended up being a great place. All right. But again, I don't know what I'm prepared for. So I'm making sure that I'm eating at the airport before I get there, just in case, there's something that I may not like. All right. Yeah. When you go to the boonies, you just don't know. There may be nothing nearby. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying
That's
you got to be a little careful with certain things. So, I mean, especially when you're driving. So yeah.
yeah, and I don't really do that often. But so like
This is a good one.
I hated
Andrew
getting
shows up Fridays straight from the airport in his uniform, ready to compete as he arrives at competition hall.
I don't think I've ever seen Andrew like like not ready to go.
And that's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Oh
The
yeah,
whole
that's
time.
true. Yeah, Atlanta,
Hey,
man, had so many restaurants.
Andrew's right. There are a lot of
Yep.
places
Yep.
out there. Um, what is it? I got so particular. I started thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about all the traveling that they got to do. And the reason why I started let you into my ADD mind for a moment. So I started thinking about literally. I started thinking about the virtual fight tour. And then I'm like, man, all these guys are going to be going. They're going to be coming from here. They're going to be coming from there. And I remember that Jesse was saying, or I think I saw a video of it. I don't think he said it. Like someone picked him up from like the airport and brought him out. Like he had a car service. So I was like, all right, well, that's high class.
Yeah.
That's nice, right?
Right.
So,
In-N-Out burger.
In-N-Out, yeah, of course. If you're going West Coast, you're getting In-N-Out because it's not everywhere, right?
Right.
I think we talked with Elijah about that. He said he
Yeah,
loved it
yeah,
too.
that was cool.
Um,
All right,
so
finish.
but even then, so like I started thinking about like car service, and I started thinking about like when I would go to tournaments, the thing I hated the most out here is trying to figure out, all right, who's going to get me to the airport?
Right.
Because,
Right.
but then all of a sudden this Uber thing became a thing. And I'm like, yes, because where I'm at to where O'Hare International Airport is, it's a little bit of a distance, right?
That's true.
But
That's
then now
true.
that Uber's a thing, like I don't have to worry about you just, let me phone up that Honda Civic,
Yeah.
and get me out there,
Yeah,
do a
and see, for
hard.
me, that's why I was telling you guys it was a big deal that I could get my ticket for AKAs from my hometown, because that never would happen. It would be like 700 bucks for me to fly from my hometown. So I would just drive to Charlotte or Richmond or Raleigh, and it would be way cheaper. It'd be half of that or less, even less. So for me, like it would be it's a huge ordeal. Sometimes I would drive down to the airport, stay the night at a hotel, and then just go. And then the perk of staying the night instead of going out early was that I had free parking, right? So I wasn't, I was spending it on gas, but not on parking. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to look at it when you're traveling. So for me, it's a little difficult because when I put in like my kayak or whatever, I actually have to look up 7 to 8 different airports to find the best price. So it's a little nuts. All right, man, guys, our listeners are putting all kinds of great
I'm loving it.
places
I love that
to
Drew's
eat.
talking about Lou Malnati's.
All
That's
right,
what I'm talking about.
so Mike Police says, of course, Competes, which is in California, In-N-Out Burger. We got at AKAs, you got to do the pizza.
Pizza, but
Drew says, all right, here we go. Cheesecakes in Philly, which you're going to go everywhere, and Lou Malnati's in Chicago. We've talked about that plenty of times. So I guess that's what I'll be doing when I'm in town in January. Quebec Open, St. Hubert. Yeah, that's right. That's
What's St. Hubert?
I think that's one of the places that has the one of the better poutine places, I believe.
Oh,
Ocean State, a seafood shack. All right. And yeah, downtown Disney, a US Open. All right. So we
that's
got
pretty
all
good.
kinds of different what other places you like to go eat, guys, when you're going to these tournaments? I mean, let's hear it.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to where I was getting to because there was something I was gonna
Washington,
get to,
dude.
but
We used to
there
go to
was
Chinatown
one.
all the time in DC. So
There's in Rhode
chicken
Island
fest. Okay.
when I go to Ocean State. There's this probably one of the best seafood restaurants I've ever went to. It's called the Crow's Nest.
Okay.
That I'm not trying to give them a plug, but I guess it just happened. Whatever. So the Crow's Nest, that stuff was fantastic. But I think I ate like a 3-pound lobster or something like that. Like, and then like wanted more. Because that's how I roll. But I had this question. Okay, so getting back to where I was at. So when you go, you catch a cab, you Uber, whatever you do, you tip your driver?
Yeah.
So you tip your driver. All right, that's good. Do you do curbside like luggage, or do you do it like all the way up front?
No. Yeah.
What do you do with your bags?
Just take them in and then go check them in or whatever I gotta do. So yeah, most of the time too. The most recent time that I've like gone like curbside hasn't been a thing for a while at a lot of places. But I don't know. I haven't flown in a year, so I'm not sure. But it wasn't a thing at a lot of the places. So
I think if that's possible, 1,000%. I don't care. Is it 10 extra bucks, 15 extra bucks? Take it. If it's free, take the 10 extra bucks, take the 15, because I don't want to touch those. I don't want to keep carrying that dang thing.
Oh, no. I agree. Yeah, curbside's the better thing. That's what I usually do. But a lot of places stopped doing that for a while. So I don't know.
Why did stop doing that? I didn't notice that.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure. But
maybe it's just because you're in a small airport.
That could be it. You might be right. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. What else were we talking? Oh, here's a place that. So when I go to El Paso, the place was Chico's Tacos. All right, and it's
Chico's
Tacos, and it wasn't really a chain. It's just like a legendary place down there. That it's like little taquitos, right? You get about 4 of them, and they just coat it with just cheddar cheese, just like falling off, right? And then salsa just doused on top of it, and you just eat it all with a fork, and you're just.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the point of making it a taco at that point?
And yeah, it's a taquito, all right. So it's just the little small rolled ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So and then it's just like this little kind of dirty place, but it's legendary and it's good. And yeah, man, every time I went there, I'd always want to go there.
I did not think that this is exactly the direction we were going to go, but I love that this is where the insiders.
I know. Well, I kind of figured this is what
insiders took it off, and I'm freaking love it. They just was like, "Oh, things to do other than karate. Let's talk about food."
Right?
And it's fantastic.
I told you, curbside is an option in Canada. Yep.
You can't do curbside at all in Canada.
It's crazy.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to that one. Well, I did that at the 8 a.m. senior divisions. We did that at Corky's tournament. It wasn't that bad. I like getting all my stuff done, and then I had plenty of time to do my other divisions later on.
All the seniors getting their stuff done early.
Yeah.
You know what though? Yes, because the one thing all the seniors need is they need a fair amount of warm up, right?
Yeah, right.
They need a fair amount, not a lot, because if you do too much, now it's like, all right, now I'm into performance time, right?
Right.
But there's also an expiration date. Is like, how much time do I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we keep going, and it's now 11:30 or noon, and I've been there since 9, like, I might be tired now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in 26-year-old shape with the same way. All right. So I'm not El Jabba Abdul Kadir. No, I don't have that. That thing's a physical specimen, right?
He is.
He is. What up, El Jabba?
Hey, so what's another type of food? I don't know if we're on this food kick. I got to keep going on it, man.
This is exactly. I love what they did, man.
So for me, I don't know. I mean, all right, there's certain things. So like, if you go to Kentucky, all right, there's this thing called the Kentucky Hot Brown. All right, I gotta share about this thing.
What in the world is this?
This is a legendary meal or dish in Kentucky. All right, and I got it in Lexington, Kentucky, when we went. And so it's like an open-faced turkey sandwich, right? So it's like a burger, like a bun with an open-faced turkey. I think you can get it with, most of the time it's turkey. I think some people even have it like there's a burger version as well. But
sounds okay so far.
All right, it's coated with this, and I think they put potatoes on it too, mashed potatoes. Then it's coated with this gravy that is a mix of gravy and cheese. And it's just,
you lost me now. Now I'm not sure if I want it.
And it's just coated with this. And the gravy is some of the best gravy I've ever had in my life. It's like a brown gravy, but with all kinds of cheese, like I want to say like a melted like provolone or something. Like it's the cheesiest, craziest thing I ever had. I mean, I'm not gonna eat it anymore, but yeah, Justin, it's kind of like the famous bowl, yeah, but way better. All right,
the KFC famous bowl in a sandwich.
but you just,
I've never had either one.
A bowl and you just eat it, but it's called the Kentucky Hot Brown, and it's a big thing in Kentucky. So that was one. There's so many good things when you go to New Orleans to eat, man. I mean, just jambalaya and
I dig me some jambalaya.
Boils, so many great things like that. Yeah, lots of just so much good food, guys.
All right,
that's part of the fun part of what we do. All right,
so
go ahead.
Now I want to switch gears though. All right, I want to, because we're going to end up talking about food eventually again later, right? Because the way that these guys, insiders, are taking this thing is impressive, right?
See,
but
he's talking about it.
And so all these guys have had this hot brown thing.
Well, Drew has, yeah.
But the hot brown sounds like something you don't want to eat. I'm just gonna say.
That's so true, Justin. New Orleans streets smell of food, liquor, and barf. All right, go ahead. We can read these things and you not get off track. Okay, this is what's so hard. I'm trying to,
This all right. It's okay. Don't worry about it. All right. So I'm gonna ask you, because I feel like you're a little bit more buttoned up with the routine than I can be. Even though I like routines, I feel like you probably have your routine a little bit more. So walk me through, what's like your routine? It's now Friday or Saturday. Let's say it's Saturday you're at a national event. You're there, let's say it's Saturday, because that's the first full day for sure. You're there from the start of the day till the end of the day. How does that thing start out for you?
Yeah, I mean,
because everybody is still a little different, apparently.
Are you talking about just me as a competitor? If I'm going just
if it's just you as a competitor, because apparently if it's like Andrew, he's there at like 5:45.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I make sure I get a good night's sleep. I get something to eat, and then I'm there pretty early, especially if I'm one of the earlier divisions. My rule is always an hour before, at least an hour before. That's always my rule. An hour
before your start time.
Right. Or,
all right.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to tell me exactly when I'm going to start, okay, it'll be my start time. But most of the time, it's like an hour before competition starts. And then, because a lot of tournaments, it's not, you don't really know. It just says 9,
Yeah.
So
9 a.m. start time for everything.
Everybody. Yeah. So I'll always do that. It's just a rule that I do, especially if I'm going to compete. And then I find my space and I put my bag somewhere where, I'm good and everything.
All right.
I know where all my stuff is.
Now pause on that one. Walk me through that, because what you just mentioned there, okay, I find my space, I put my bag somewhere. That can be a very calculated.
Yeah.
Because I don't really have a routine for that. I used to like, I want my bag in this type of space, and I'm going to go practice over in this type of space. And then I quickly realized a 13-year-old can screw all that up. Just by standing in the ring where I was the only person there. They got a whole ballroom open, and then they stand right there, spinning their bow up in the air, right next to your face. You're like, seriously?
It's true. It's true.
So, but whatever.
And
right.
that happens sometimes, you know.
You feel about it.
But for me, I'm always that person that breaks the rules. They always say, put your bag outside of the barrier or whatever. I always put it inside the barrier. I'm just that person. I'm just going to do that, you know. I'm not going to go to a seat or whatever. I'm going to stay in the area, you know. That's just me, whatever. Most people do that anyways. Found a good spot. You know, for me, I mean, I know people like my instructor, he won't ever leave his bag. And if he's going to the bathroom, he has to have me like watch it. And I'm like, dude, it'll be all right, whatever.
Like he brings his bag with him, or he has you watch it?
Kind of both. It's one of those. Yeah, he's just like, well, I got to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to leave my bag. Are you going to watch it? I'm like, no, I'm competing right now.
But you know what, though?
I'm like, too bad, man. But I mean, I get it. There are people that have stolen things and stuff.
There's some kleptomaniacs out there at tournaments.
There are.
Back in the CD days, man, I've had, can you believe we ever did that? But whatever. I had like books. You know, I used to have like the book of CDs. Like, oh man, look at my book. Right? It's literally like an encyclopedia. I've had a couple of them stolen, right?
I've lost mine at workouts. I would take them to workouts at other karate schools, and
they're gone.
So, they're gone.
Which I got to get some of that. I got to get like how do you? Because you know, laptops, they don't have like CD drives anymore.
Yeah, mine does.
You got it. Yours does.
I got one of the last ones.
Did you get that thing? 1992.
Yeah.
I gotta go get like an external one. I think you can plug it into a USB port, something like that.
Someone took his Disney cup when he was judging. See, we can't deal with that. Come on.
Oh, but you know what though? Those Disney cups, straight up, Disney cups, I still have 2 of them here in my house. Those are some of my favorite coffee mugs that I use as coffee mugs.
Yeah, they're good.
It's got the perfect like handle. I love the handle.
Well, I've told you before the story when I got my my Team Elite jacket stolen out of my bag, right? And there was a certain individual that's going around collecting different team uniforms and team warm-ups and stuff like that. Yeah, that happened.
Wait, do you know who it was?
Yeah, I do. I'm not going to say who it is, but yeah, we found out who it was because
you got to tell me off air. I got to know who this is.
I thought I had told you that before, but I don't know. But yeah,
I remember
found out that they were trying to start a karate school, and they wanted to put all of these different things, saying that they were a part of all of these different teams and stuff.
Get out.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And then later on, someone else was in their room hanging out and saw all the stuff and was like, wait a minute. So,
but see, that's the thing, is if someone could just straight up go to like team like Spencer and be like, hey, I'm not on the team. I just like the jacket. Can I buy one of the jackets from you? I don't know the tournament, I'll go wear it. I just like the jacket. Can I buy the jacket? He'd say yes, wouldn't he?
Probably so. It was a different time back then, though. There wasn't like, no one was forward thinking in that like they should have been. Like all the other sports, you know, like fans go and buy, you know, like the jersey of their favorite team, right? And you know, like that was one of the cool things that I liked about Team Proper was when I was on it was we were selling the shirts to fans, to people to buy, and everybody, yeah, I want a Proper shirt. Yeah, I want a Proper shirt. And that would be, you know, part of the thing, you know, you would do as another way to sponsorship money. So, I mean, I know I would sell a lot of them out to the East Coast because no one had them out here, right? And they wanted them. And we'd show up at tournaments and people like, man, how many people are on your team? Well, it's about 10. It looks like there's about 40. Well, that's the fans, you know, and like that's what it should be like, right? So that's kind of cool. But I know, again, we keep going off on different things, but
we do, but we're going to come back to it. But I wanted to, you know what I wanted to do was last week, I wanted to ask Jerry about that same thing, but gosh, forgive me, guys. My internet was so sketchy last week.
And I was so
tired.
I
looked like I was over here with 2 antennas on top of my roof or something. But
Yep. Yeah, he was
um,
Justin.
Jerry was pretty forward thinking about that same thing too, and
Mm-hmm.
he always wanted to do that same type of thing. And we've talked about how different teams, they wanted to sell different uniforms, but it's like nobody's going to buy that if they think if you wear it, you're trying to mimic like you're on the team, right?
Right.
So it wouldn't work. But I've actually thought about this. I'm going to ask you this, and then maybe we'll jump back on the other topic. Maybe we won't. I have no idea. All right. So you know how team names? It's like Team Elite, like Team CJB, Team Impex. All right.
Right.
Whatever the team.
Yeah.
So what? It's one of the only things where it's a team of people, of athletes, that doesn't say we are X. Like we are the Bulls.
Right.
We
Right.
are the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Vikings.
Right.
Skull Vikings.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and why not? Why not have something like this? You know what I'm saying? So instead of
we're just this or set team this, yeah. Well, and that's something I gotta give credit to Cannell, because that was kind of one of the things that he was trying to do. He wasn't saying this is the newest member of Team Revolution. He would just say this is the newest member of the Revolution, and that's what.
Now the Revolution would be cool.
Yeah. So
like
the Revolution. Well, yeah. That's
be a tribute to Prince and the Revolution.
Prince, yeah. Right. So
change your colors, Cannell.
Yeah. So,
but
I
even
remember
then,
him saying that. So that's kind of cool.
Like, what if some, like, because then you could have like a mascot. So what if you were Matt? Like, we're like,
I think part of that is because there's not like a city and then this, like everyone's trying to be universal instead of like, we're the Canadian whatever, Well, I mean, there was ones like that in NBL, but there was mostly like it wasn't like it was more of a team fighting like team, like a junior team, like they would call them the Canadian Loonies or whatever. That was the team that Trevor was on, right? It's called the Canadian Loonies, and
that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, it was cool, and there was ones like that, and a lot of those guys that were from that group, which was like. I'm messing his name right now. Jocelyn's team. They would have different team names like that, But I mean, I'm not sure why no one else, or even the Texas ones, like they would have the Texas Renegades, and different
I think that's a great
like
idea.
That. Yeah, and then like the Firefighters. The Firefighters was one. The Texas Firefighters was a team, and they had big sponsorship and everything. So there has been, but or Sherman Oaks Raiders.
Yes. See, now that is one. Yeah. That's a great one.
Right.
So I don't know, by like the early 2000s, when Team NK started doing something, Emily Cooper, who's from Minneapolis, right? She would just pop in on some training sessions sometimes. She's like, man, you guys are right there. You guys are knocking on the door. Beat Paul Mitchell a couple times. It's time to take the whole thing. Because at that point we hadn't won a whole team matchup yet. She's like, that's who you guys are, the NK Icemen. And we looked at each other and we're like,
NK
what did you just say? She's like, oh, yeah. And then we're like, oh, no, don't say that again. And then thinking back on it, like, how was it?
It would have been cool. Yeah.
That was actually kind of cool. And here we went and shot it down like Dumbos, right? It was probably BJ. It was probably BJ who shot it down. Happy birthday, BJ. It's his birthday today.
Yeah, it's Edgar's birthday today, too. Or maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. It's been a long day, but I think it was Edgar's birthday today. Yeah. Edgar Cordova. So yeah, I mean, that's all kinds of cool stuff that we could have done, and maybe some ideas for teams in the future. But get a mascot. Mascot would be kind of cool.
Mascot would be cool.
That would be cool.
Then your whole routine, maybe you have the mascot coming through. How fun would that be, right? You got the mascot going through the ballroom. You got a chant.
So who's going to be the person wearing the mascot uniform? You know what I mean? Like, does that rotate throughout the tournament? And it's like,
but see, the mascot can be a lot of different things. Maybe it doesn't have to be someone in a big stuffed head. Because be honest, who's going to wear that freaking thing all day? You know what I mean? Maybe it could be like I don't know. That would kind of depend on who it is. But who would be a great mascot?
I say whoever the rookie is, has to wear that for that whole season. an hour of tournament.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? That's one of those hazing things.
I know. All right.
So you were talking about you get there like an hour before you compete.
Mm-hmm.
You
Put my
have a
bag
place
down.
for your
I have
bag.
some snack. I have a little bit of snacks and stuff. That's changed a lot as far as of what I eat and everything. I make sure I know where the bathroom is. You got to make sure of that. If not, you're screwed. But
All
you
right.
got to make sure you have a good path to the bathroom, the restroom, whatever you call it.
Since you mentioned that, I got to ask you a question. What's your footwear situation? Do you have a situation where it has to be where you know what you're wearing on your feet?
Yeah, I mean, I usually like to wear my shell toes. So
Your what?
shell toes, my
What
Adidas
is that?
Superstars.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. The throwbacks.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
Shell toes, man. That's my thing. So
I just haven't worn them since 1999.
hey, I still I need some new ones now because I've worn them out the past year that I've had them. But
Since 1999.
but yeah, so I still wear those, and that I don't know, man, just a good flat kind of shoe, nothing too crazy. And then yeah, I mean, other than that, man, I'm pretty simple as far as that goes. I gotta find a good spot to stretch, chill.
That was my next question.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
stop
gotta
you right
stretch.
there.
Yeah.
Do you stretch like every time, no matter what? You stretch. That has to happen.
Yeah, that has to happen, but I want to be like a relaxed stretch. I don't want it to be rushed. I don't want to, so I'm just chilling, relaxing. And then before I'm kind of like right before everything is really like dynamic stretching, like right before I'm about to compete. It's a different type. But for me, I just got to get my body to be able to go in the positions I need it to be and really just take my time. I don't want to rush into warming up. So that's
Because
why I like to be
there are
there
those. I don't know if
before.
I've talked about this. There are
We
a
have.
lot of
Yeah, the don't
high
stretch.
level people that say, "Do not stretch."
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. Yeah. You're talking about wearing atomics,
The
man.
atomic shoes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. When I watched Larry Lamb with those atomic shoes, I was like,
That's
Dad,
right.
I need me a pair. Right?
That's right. Hey, there's still people that wear them
To
now.
go to
They
the
wear
grocery
ring
store.
stars, but they wear them, yeah, to go to everywhere. There's a promoter. We'll just keep. Yeah, Doug Armstrong wears ring stars with a suit. Okay, so he'll have a ring star with his full on
As long
suit.
as he doesn't wear them to fight, you can take those things to go
Oh,
to
I
the
know.
Shell gas
I
station
know.
and get yourself some gummy bears. But don't step in a ring with those things.
Oh, terrible.
Have I told you how I feel about ring stars?
Yes, yeah, we both had. Yeah, everyone had a pair of those atomics, man.
Heck yeah.
I love the way when you say like everyone says the name of it differently. Otomix. I'm like, no, it's atomics. No, it's Otomix. I'm like, oh my god.
That's a fantastic point. And what is the true way to say it?
Right. What is that? I don't know.
Because no one's ever heard it said except for the people that they are right next to. Right? Nobody knows.
Kind of like someone who says compete instead of compete, so it's like, one of those things.
You're ragging on me.
Ragging
I
on
have
me.
changed my ways with that.
You have. You get it now.
I get it.
How it drives me nuts.
Nobody really told me that until you did. All right.
Tomato Tampa. Okay. I think you meant tomato, but yeah. Compete.
That's a good one.
All right.
All right. So going back, so you stretch, definitely got to stretch.
Yep, got to stretch.
I stretch all the time. Got to do that. But you know what though?
Here's another thing. All right. Here's the thing. All right. I never like to walk around in white gi pants. That's something I'm never gonna do. I'm not gonna walk around in my white uniform because crap gets all over it. I mean, there's stuff on the floor. You're stretching, and the carpet that's on the ground comes off, and then your gi pants look like red or orange or whatever, right?
What are you doing? Are you going through a buffet line in those things?
No, I'm just saying you just don't know because you sit on the floor and someone Gatorade, because they have Gatorade, spilled out of their bag and it's all over the place, and you look like you peed yourself on your butt. Don't do that. So
that's
you
good.
always
I
bring,
always have like,
I always bring an extra pair of black pants. So I always have my black pants I warm up in. Then about right before the division start, then I'll switch and go into my traditional uniform. I'll
all right, now wait a
never
minute.
walk around in black and white pants.
Wait a minute.
Because black pants, it really, you look still kind of cool in black pants, right? You're okay. You're chill, relaxed, you're comfortable. White pants, I mean, come on. No,
So
it's
wait,
not.
so you bring like black sweatpants.
No, my black gi pants.
Or black gi pants.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Or I don't really do that.
Pants.
Sometimes I wear like shorts, like warm up shorts or something like that too. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, maybe I used to do that in the '90s, the tearaway Adidas ones.
Speaking of 1999.
Yeah, so I had the whole Adidas. I was Adidas stuff, man.
All right.
But yeah, so that's a real thing. I definitely believe that. And then of course, I gotta have plenty of water bottles. You gotta have plenty of water bottles. And I suggest people to go do that before you get to the turn. Don't just expect that they're gonna be around there or whatever.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you
Don't
gotta
expect running water.
go to
Toilets.
yeah, Walgreens or something and get a couple of water bottles before, because that just it's not going to work. Especially for me because I go through a bunch because I like to hit them over my head before I compete. So it's a whole nother thing, whole nother ritual. Yeah,
all
always
right, let's
bring
get into
snacks.
that. What are your actual like your rituals like? What's one? So you just mentioned like you hit the water bottle over your head.
Yeah, that's usually after I do my prayer and talking to myself and all that, and whatever I need to do to get pumped up. I like bouncing back and forth, so like I don't want to just stay still. Like when the person right in front of me is going, I'm usually walking back and forth like alongside the ring, and even if I catch their eye a little bit, that's kind of cool too. I'm usually staring at them. Everybody else that doesn't want to watch them, it kind of pumps me up. So
Yeah, me too.
so that thing is, like I'll watch them now. I used to not be like that. I used to want to be turned around. Now I kind of get pumped because I'm like, this person's coming after me. That's kind of the way I like to think that, they're trying to take my spot. So there's that, I have to have that chip on my shoulder to do it.
Well, when you say you kind of you like catch eyes sometimes with like your competition.
Yeah.
Do you ever just mean mug them?
Yeah. A lot of times. Yeah.
Cool
Yeah, I'm sure there's some people that have done that too. So yeah, so I'll kind of do that. And then I do my prayer and I hit a water bottle, go in, and then from there it just kind of gets a little crazy.
All right, this one's gonna sound strange.
Thanks, Mike.
When I compete against Jeff, I make sure to tell him how slippery the mat is before he goes up. Listen, though, that's for real. That can get in someone's head. It cannot be slippery at all. But then when someone tells you, like, ooh, man, better watch out. It's a little slick. All you got to say is, ooh, felt a little slick today. All of a sudden, the paranoia sets in, and you're like, well, now what? What are we going to do? Do we have to move? And now you start moving around on it, and you're like, well, wait, did I not find the slick part? Is it slick over here? I better go around. Michael said it was slick. I got to find out where it is.
Well, it's the same way with stages, like with stages that have different parts in it that are uneven or hard in one spot or whatever. It's the same type thing. So it messes you up, but, here we go. He said, Drew said, I used to face away and not watch the previous competitor, but now I use their energy to get pumped. Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Great way to be.
Same
Great
thing.
way to be.
And I think a lot of that comes from experience too, So the more you're into it, you kind of realize, all right, that's not that big of a deal. And you kind of need to change your routine up some too, because for me it is, you gotta evolve with the times and get pumped up. So
okay.
So yeah.
Do you have any good luck charms? Or did you have any good luck charms? Do you have like a lucky thing? Like I always bring this thing in my bag, or I always have this piece of clothing I always wear.
All right. I don't think I do anymore, but I have things that I just want to wear that just to be comfortable. But I remember
I knew it.
When I was younger, maybe when I was like, I'm trying to think, maybe it was like 11 to 13. or 14 until they
I
fell
love it.
apart and I couldn't wear them no more. But I wore the same boxers for like
I
every
knew you
time
were
I
going to say
competed.
this.
All right, but they're weird boxers. All right, they're these big, thick, like almost like wool boxers that had bulls on them. Okay, I can't believe I'm sharing this, but and it was it was, and they were too big for me a lot of times too, and so like it's just kind of one of those things that was what I wore. So until they completely just ripped apart. And like I wore them when they were like holy and holes all in them and everything. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff
yeah,
literally took the bull by the
yep,
horn.
more than we need to know. See what I mean?
But you know what? You know why I knew you were going to say that?
You did the same.
I had a lucky pair.
Yep.
I had a lucky pair, but then I wore but it got to the point where like, all right, I'm not wearing these things unless I compete. I'm just wearing them when I compete. That's what I'm going to do. Because apparently these things they're paying off. It wasn't all the training. It wasn't the competition. It had nothing to do with that. It was clearly this one set of purple boxers that I would wear. Right.
Right.
But then I'm like, this is ridiculous. Get these things the frick out of here. But would you wear the same pair for like what, 2.5 years?
Something like that, yeah. And then I got rid of them. I got rid of them. Yeah. So yeah, man, there's all kinds of stuff like that. But I mean, I don't even think about that anymore. I mean, so it's kind of weird.
Well, other people have good luck charms too. Like even this, when it comes to like sparring gear, right? Like it doesn't have to be like something like that. Like for years, Ray had like this cloth. I remember asking him about it.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 2000. And I'm like, dude, what is this thing that you got like on your waist? And he's like, oh, it's a little cloth that all my teammates signed it. And I'm like, why? I remember asking right there. I'm like, why? What did you do that for? What's the point? And it was a novel idea now. And he's like, oh, so that way, if they can't be next to me, if no one's coaching me, I just feel like they're always right there with me.
Okay.
I remember thinking like, oh, all right, that's kind of nice. And then he walked away. And then I remember thinking to myself, that's pointless. That's dumb. I'm never doing that. Right. But who am I going to say? What am I going to tell Ray? Dumb, don't do that. No, clearly don't listen to what I would say. Just keep doing your thing because it's working. But when I think about it, certain guys just had certain pieces of equipment that were like, they wear this. Like, as much as I hate freaking ring stars, Hamid Feruzzi loved himself some damn ring stars. And I'm like, you're the only person on the planet that can wear these things that actually enjoys them, right? And what's strange enough is people remember him.
You know who else liked him a lot was I think Chelsea Nash really liked him.
She did too.
Yeah. She loved those things. Yeah.
But what her makes a little bit more sense. What people remember Hamid for is like right hand punches and ridge hands. Yeah. But what you probably don't remember is this dude would axe kick all the time.
All the time.
Right? Yeah. All the time. And I'm like, it must be because you're 135 pounds that you can actually do that, because anybody with real weight can't do that. But I think about Jack Felton's headgear.
Yep.
He should headgear, man. He still has that thing. Wear that thing again. Jack's headgear. Yes. As I was saying it.
As you were saying, he said it. Yep.
Jack's headgear. He needs to bring that thing back, because it was like they do not make that headgear anymore.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
And I think like 3 people wore it, and Jack was one of them.
Yeah. Andrew has his lucky top 10 rollaway bag. Yep. I always liked my Tiger Claw backpack, and I had it for a while, and that was my thing,
Tiger Claw backpack.
Tiger Claw has an awesome backpack. You got to find that.
For real? See, this is the thing. This is where guys can start dropping little gems in here, like, the Tiger Claw backpack, the Asian World of Martial Arts.
What was the yellow headgear back? That was the
Shion.
Is that the one? Yeah, is that the one that Preston used to wear, right?
But Preston, he had the blue one for a while too. He liked the blue, but I think he wore yellow and orange for quite a while.
Right.
Yeah. But Shihan, that was there you go. Yeah. That was a fantastic line. Love that thing. But the only problem was they had a plastic clip on the chin.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
Which I suppose if you're not getting hit, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah,
But
I still have my Drew Sandy Studs is full circle rolling bag. I still have my Canvas Team Elite bag that for a long time I took everywhere. But the problem is if it got wet or whatever, that red dye would like get on whatever else. So I just kind of stopped doing that. But yeah, but I
so
had one of those big ones because see, we had them. Metro had them. Everyone had those big. They were like the new tradition bags
yes.
that they had, right? They were just big canvas.
All right, check this, right? And then we should probably move on. So
Yeah.
I'm talking to, this is probably like 7 years ago. I'm sitting down, I'm talking to Anthony Price, Tony Young, and Terry Kramer, right? And then me, like one person in this conversation does not like the others, right? So,
Is not like the others, yeah.
yeah, like I'm not the champion that these guys are, right? So, but Anthony Price, love that guy, all right? It was right after I think Jody and I were talking about like what's the best like 3-man team fighting team of all time. And the one he and I both left out was the Trans Oil team.
Yeah.
And so he's like, we were the best. We were undefeated. Nobody ever beat us. When we had all our guys, nobody beat us. And Terry's right there shaking his head like, yep, he's right.
Yep.
But what he was talking about, he says, you know what? He said Rini, right, was just pulling out some of that gear the other day. And I'm like, you still have that stuff? Right? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got all of that. I got the Budweiser stuff. I've got all that stuff. That would be super cool. Now, what I think would be awesome, and I didn't think about this until, and this is, I don't want it to sound bad. I didn't think about this until after Kevin Thompson had passed, and I thought, what if someone signed those gear, bags, jackets, uniform, and auctioned them off?
Right.
What would someone in our community, what would they go for? And if he got all those proceeds, maybe we could do it again. I don't know, right?
Yeah,
I started thinking about this. I'm like, how freaking cool would that be, right?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be dope. Just to even, but you know what though? Just to see that. So I think the Sport Karate Museum, that stuff like that should be in there.
Yeah. That was what I shared before. Is like my Team Elite top, the first one I put in the Sport Karate Museum and signed it and stuff, and that was cool.
Yep. Where is the Sport Karate Museum?
It's in Texas, Houston, Texas.
All right, cool.
Yep. That was where I met Pat Burleson several times. It was down there
cool.
for that. So I think this year they have. I think Don Rodriguez is going this year. They're doing a big presentation for JPM. They have several other. I think Bill Wallace is going to be there this year. They're going to do a lot of different stuff to recognize guys. So I think recognize Jim Harrison and those guys. So lots of cool things. So I know they have talked about wanting to come on sometime to chat about the sport. So we might have a good talk sometime in the future with them. So. Yeah, man. So, I mean, there's so many great things that we can talk about from just that's what's great about sport karate. Is the traveling, the people we meet,
the things we do, the places we go.
Yeah. So it's awesome. And I'm excited to get back to that, man. I'm excited to, this may take a little bit longer. We'll just kind of talk about just short. It's just like, I'm now again trying to plan, like a schedule for my team, and my young guys and everything, and say, hey, this is where we're going. This is where we think you should go. If you want to go here, go here. And, it's a little tough. Like, what is it, guys, that you look in as far as maybe a circuit for your students to go to? What are some of the things that you look at and you feel like are important to do? Is it local? Is it that they're close to you? Is it just, I'm just going to find local circuit? Is it the rules? Is it how they're ran? Is it the prize money? Is it the trophies? What is it that you feel like is important for you, your school, yourself, or even if, you don't have a school right now? So I think a lot of the guys that are watching right now are talking, some do, But
Yeah.
what
Or
do
they've been
you
in and out.
think? What are some of the things that you think, you know?
Well, I think the
Um,
last two things you mentioned, trophies and prize money, should be like last on the list,
right,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
They should be last on the list.
Organization, venue, judging rules. So venue, okay, that would be more for like a tournament. As far as the circuit
Yeah.
goes, yeah, I mean, I guess you can still, all right, all their venues are, we know that when you go here, it's going to be like this. You know, I mean, it used to be an NBL rule that if you were going to be an NBL tournament, you had to, your tournament had to be in a hotel. That was just the thing
Wow.
that was one of the things. But then that got harder and harder to do as
Yeah.
you went into the later in the 90s. It wasn't the easy way to do your event, you know. And then it kind of got, okay, if you're a national, you got to be in a hotel, and that way, just convenience wise, right, that you could do it. And
Yeah.
at that time, it was easier to be like, hey, if I get this many rooms, you're going to give me the ballroom for free. That doesn't happen like that anymore.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
So apparently quality restaurants. Yeah. It's just, where do we want to compete where it has good food? All right. We're good. I love it.
Yes.
That's the one.
Well, so I think what you were just talking about, as far as, like, what are the checklists, for your school, your team of
Right.
people that you're going to go when you're thinking
And
about a circuit, because you don't have to follow a circuit,
no,
but
you don't.
you kind of should to a certain degree,
It's
right?
easier for your younger students and really your juniors in general to know what it's going to be like at all the events. So there's going to be consistency, right? If
Right.
like right now, we've just been going a bunch of different tournaments. Everyone has been different rules. There's
Mhm.
some quality and there's some good things about that, right? Because they get that flexibility of going to different things, that it'll be like this and be like that. So they're not going to get spoiled, right? But it also needs to be, it's also real easy when you know, all right, this is what the rules are going to be, and this is what we're going towards. This is the goal, right? There's a goal at the end of it. And I think that's for my students right now, when I'm like, all right, we're going to go to this tournament because it's big. This tournament, they're like, well, what's the goal? Because they were always used to that the goal was super grands, the goal was
Love that.
either the state championship or whatever it was to get to that, So yeah, it's different, What do you think?
So but you can kind of check all those boxes at the same time in different ways. Like, here's an example. So out here in Illinois, it's a little different. So like the circuit that would be here would be the AKA circuit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't just John Sharkey. It's not him. There's a lot of different schools, and some of them
They're in
are
that.
from Indiana. All right.
Right.
And so I think that's a great one to be around, because they have, and it's the people, the guys, like, they are very passionate. They're always at every event. So it's very important to do that. To be at each event and just feel like, all right, this is what we're doing. Even if the rules aren't ideal for you, like, I don't love this rule, I don't love that rule. But what is this? NASCA should impose the same rules for everyone. They have different rules
rules
for
for
everyone.
underbelts.
Drew's right. They should. If you're an NASCA event, these are your rules. Anyway, moving on. So we would do that. But then there's also some tournaments in Wisconsin that I'm like, we love this, but then we're not really involved in any kind of circuit out there. Right. There's a lot of
until recently,
yeah,
but still then
like,
that kind of started when in the middle of COVID. So
right. So then, all right. So we go to these ones, but then really for a big, like a circuit, really, that people around here follow is the WKC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a regional qualifier here, and like, all right, if you place at the top of your division, you are qualifying to go to nationals. You go to nationals, you place in the top there, you are on the U.S. national team.
Right.
And that appeal works right away. So what's good about that is they are the same rules. Here you go. These are the rules, right? And they're the same rules once you go. So we all know that. But then also, there's a set system. Like, here's your regional, there's your national, then there's the world. So there's the steps, the hierarchy.
Yeah, the steps. Yeah, I
So
like that.
yeah,
And
so
then they
like,
also, I know they're also doing Pan Ams as well as a if you win the Pan Ams, I think it'll be in February this year in Mexico or whatever, somewhere. You automatically get a spot. Only if you win, though.
like if you win your division,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. So
I think
that's
that's
kind of a way
fantastic.
because it's a higher, quality one. I know WKU was doing that. I don't know if they're doing that. They'll be doing that this year. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like that as well. It's a way. And then I think also if you say you win multiple regional events, then you're going to have a higher seed at the nationals, I
But I
believe.
also think WKC there's one
Okay,
tournament or
April in
maybe more
Carataro. That's a great
that's a
place.
super qualifier. I think there's one in Ohio that's a super qualifier where if you place in the top 8 in your division, like
Okay.
you qualify to nationals, right?
All right.
You're not on the team. You're on the national
Yeah.
team.
You just have a spot. Yeah, where the other tournaments that are regionals are top 4, but at the super regionals, I think that's what it is. It's the top 8, I
But people
believe.
respect those,
Yeah.
right? So like I said, we got a regional out here, and when you're at your regional, you kind of know the usual suspects as to who's going to be there, and then you start seeing some guys from Kentucky, and you're like, what are you guys doing here? Right? You guys don't
Right.
usually come to something like this. Like,
Right.
but we didn't qualify in Ohio, so now we're coming here. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a serious day. All right, this is gonna be good stuff.
That's cool.
Right?
That's cool.
But then they know they better show up because there's only one other tournament after that they could qualify for if they didn't qualify. So it just really gives a lot more credibility to the whole process.
Right. Well, and it's cool too that some of that starts now. Like I know that there's 2 events in December, I think, that are qualifiers and stuff. So
but if you think we're not that far out, what are we, like 6 months out? We're 6 months out from about the time the last regional will be.
Well, right. Yeah.
So I think Waco could do something, but they don't have any regionals. They have the national qualifier in February.
Yeah. And then they have Pan Ams. Yeah. Well, and actually Pan Ams is different. Pan Ams is like the national qualifier is for if you're an adult next year, it's for Pan Ams. If you're a junior, it's for Worlds next year. Actually, people are on the way right now to Waco Pan Ams. I'm not sure where it's at. I'm thinking Mexico. I think it's Cancun. But that's what's going on right now because Waco European Championships is happening.
They're happening right now, I think.
Yep. So
yeah, I've been following the Austrian team. Those guys are freaking good. Right?
Yeah. All right. So let us know what things you guys think. What gets you excited as far as building a schedule for your year? Like what do you guys think? I know I'm excited for me, I like having a schedule, but I also like not having one too. It's like, man, you know what? This has popped up. I just want to go.
You like being like a hired gun, like a free agent, just like show up. Here's Jeff Doss.
Much,
but
man. That's kind of
at the same time, like, don't you like at the beginning of the year, like before the beginning of the year starts, already know like these are my events that I'm doing?
Yeah, it's good for that. But I know for me, it's just like there's always something else. When you go to one event and you do well, more events start popping up, right? Hey, this is my event. Hey, this is what I wanted to do. Oh, we're giving away this. We're doing this. Just kind of the way it is. So you got to keep it open. But you also, when you run a school,
I don't do that at all.
Events, you got to have events at your school every weekend. You got family, stuff as well. It's not all about Christ. You got to make sure that it's kind of, you got it all figured out. So I get that. You got to make sure it's all planned and scheduled. So.
Yeah, I do that. I kind of set it out even before I was married or before I had kids. Like I would kind of set it out like this is what I have time set aside that I can actually do.
Well, see, what I would do as a kid, my mom and I would have my schedule of all the events I'd be going to. And the first day of like school registration, we would go to the principal and say, these are the events that we're going to. I'm going to be out. Can you okay my absences? And we'll print off all the work. I'll do all the work on the airplane. And here we go. And they did all the time, as long as now when I would add things, because as it got later and I was on CJB, we just kept adding tournaments out of nowhere, random. Like they would call me like, hey, we're going to this tournament. They just asked us to go get on the plane. All right. That was kind of the way it was.
See, that always ended up bad for me.
When I was later and I had a job, I couldn't do this, but Coach Conroy kind of thought that I would just gonna go to Mexico with 1 day notice, several times. Be like, hey, we're doing this tournament in Mexico. You want to come? I wasn't even on his team at the time. He'd be like, hey, I need you to represent us and go. I'm like, yeah, I have a job. I can't really do that right now. But yeah. So funny stuff.
That backfired on me when I would do that. I'll tell the story a different time, but remind me to tell you about the time when BJ Carnahan, Hamid Fruzi, and I road tripped it to a tournament because we thought we were hot shit and beat everybody.
You told us this story. Yeah. I remember this story. I remember
I did? All right. Because
it's
unfreaking forgettable.
Oh, yes. You did run into me at that tournament. Yep. And that was one of those ones where I got my ticket that week of. Oh, man. All right. This has been a good episode.
What tournaments is there any tournaments happening this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I know the Waco Pan Ams. What else is it that's happened? That I think there is something else. I don't know. I know there's several events in December that are going on. When is Pan Ams Miami? Is that this weekend or next weekend?
I thought it was next weekend. I thought that was next week, but I could be wrong. It could be this weekend.
All right,
maybe
Pan
it is
Am
this
in
weekend.
Miami. Yeah, I guess it is.
That's cool.
All right. Well,
all
right, guys.
There's everything to do in Miami. That's probably the best place to go. If you just want something to eat and somewhere to go and it be fun and exciting, that's probably the best.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Leaving Friday at 6 a.m.
I'll let you know if baby brother pops out here soon.
Yes.
This kid, I'm telling you, dude, I feel bad.
We're gonna be kind of who knows, probably incognito next week. But
we'll see what happens. But I tell you what, I feel bad. Baby brother right now, Lindsay could pop anytime. He's already over 9.5 pounds.
Wow.
And he's technically got a week to go.
Yeah.
We're talking about possibly a 10-pound baby. What?
Jeez.
How's that possible?
It's no, man.
That's what I'm saying. All right. So, yeah, pray for Lindsay.
Yes.
Don't even forget about me, her. You know what I'm saying?
Prayers, man. All right.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next time.